The COVID-19 pandemic has undeniably changed everything about everything. So how do pharmaceutical brands break through the COVID noise as we head into normal flu season in the marketing of over-the-counter products? Sudier Ramparsad is the Managing Director at Adcock Ingram. Sudier, firstly, a very warm welcome. And do you think it's harder to market standard over-the-counter medication amid this pandemic?
I think at the moment what we're finding is that there's normally a clutter of advertising at any given time. Now in the healthcare space, what we're seeing is that there's this uninvited competitor called COVID-19. So in the minds of a consumer, a patient, in the healthcare space, it's all about COVID-19. So the competitor is no longer the competitive environment and getting clever in terms of how you position against that. It's more about trying to find a space in the consumer's mind. And I think that's where we've been not struggling with, but we've had to try and redesign how we advertise to the patient or consumer.
So have you had to use different strategies then to remind people of the medication that is available for normal day-to-day needs?
Jeremy, yeah, I think that's a very valid situation right now. In the healthcare space now, it's not so much about what we wanting to advertise or inform patients about in terms of our products. So what we're trying to do now is create programs where we can advise and inform rather than promote. And I think now is the time that we can help the World Health Organization, the National Department of Health, in terms of an educational program, so that both you and I can relate to the basic things that needs to be done. Washing your hands, wearing a mask, physical distancing. If we can just include that in our rhetoric from an advertising or promotional point of view, I think we start to give ourselves a better chance in fighting COVID-19.
And have you seen a change in consumer behavior, or are you seeing the same stocking up of flu season over-the-counter medication as in previous years?
In March, just before lockdown, we saw panic buys. And the panic buys across the supply chain from the customers, which are pharmacists and wholesalers, but also you and I stocking up our medicine cupboards. We haven't really had a winter season. In fact, winter just started a few days ago, as far as I'm concerned, and we're seeing a delay in that traction. So I imagine that for most of the South African residents who did stockpile in March, the medicine cabinets are still full.
Now, you've started a campaign even before the full extent of the pandemic was evident that honoured medical professionals. Why, I wonder, was that an important part of your marketing strategy at this time? And how has it been helped or hindered by the pandemic?
Jeremy, you're referring to our Adcock Ingram OTC Sponsors of Brave campaign, which we started in about August last year. What we were aiming to do is trying to catch South Africans doing the right thing. And we thought we'll start with the media because, to be honest, journalists, media people like yourselves are not often publicly praised. And we thought we would want to do that. But we also had an ulterior motive with that, because we thought the media would also be best placed to help us celebrate the healthcare practitioners. And by healthcare practitioners, I'm talking about pharmacists in retail or the public sector, medical doctors, nursing staff, paramedics. So we wanted to celebrate these individuals, giving them the acknowledgement for what they do. They take care of our health on a daily basis. They're the frontline essential workers, not just from a healthcare, but our overall health from a family point of view. What COVID-19 has done is energized every South African resident to try and wanting to clap hands in the evening at 7 o'clock to pay some kind of tribute. And I think that has certainly benefited the Adcock Ingram OTC Sponsors of Brave campaign.
Sudier, thank you very much indeed. Now, general sniffs and coughs are to be expected as temperatures plummet, but we are living in unprecedented times. So, as we wrestle with the novel coronavirus, remember to consult your healthcare provider should you experience any cold or flu-like symptoms.